It's your boy D Money coming to you live from the Midnight Syndrome podcast, episode 4. Today's gonna be a good one. NBA trade deadline just passed, and we got a lot of shit to talk about. So, y'all want to start it off, or y'all want me to start it off? Because my disappointment might get the better of me. So, somebody else might want to start this one off.
Or are you disappointed, bro?
I'm tired of being a Knicks fan, honestly. Like, I'm just tired. I'm sick and tired of being a Knicks fan, yo.
So we starting here with the Knicks and the Lakers. We can do that again. Let's go.
No, I'm gonna come back to the Knicks and Lakers because I don't want to tie up too much time early because I know that.
Now let's knock it out. Let's get out of the way, man. Let's get it out of the way. We ain't make no trades. Well,
I mean, we gonna burn up the whole time talking about Knicks and Lakers?
We ain't burn up the whole time. My take is pretty fucking short, actually. You had a chance to offload Russell Westbrook. The Rockets want to give you John Wall. All they wanted was Westbrook and a pick. 2027. Like I said before, we done gave them bitches up before. You know what I'm saying? And everybody complain about it. You don't believe in that boy. He's trash. He's a D3 player. I heard niggas say all this other stuff. Can't be in the closing lineups. You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
You had your chance to offload him. You didn't take it. So at this point, I don't want to hear shit. You rolling with what you got. You know what I'm saying? They're saying they're waiting for the buyout market to happen.
Ain't nobody gonna
and then we're going to see what happens. I don't want to hear no complaints about the lineups or the roster anymore. Just go out there and make it happen now at this point.
All right, now you got to play with what you got.
To the Lakers' credit, although I do feel like John Wall was a better fit than Russell Westbrook, that doesn't make him necessarily a good fit for the Lakers. And not like that first round pick is gold, but if LeBron decides to leave and AD joins him shortly after, you know, you guys can be a really bad team.
We are going to be a really bad team.
At the time in which you take that pick. So I don't necessarily disagree with the Lakers looking at it from this standpoint. Does John Wall win you a title this year? And if John Wall doesn't win you a title, then why do we necessarily have to give up the pick? Like, if it's not moving the needle to the point where it makes you a top 3 team in the West, then you might as well throw in the towel, make it a loss a year, and call it a day. And I don't necessarily think or know that John Wall makes you guys a top 3 team in the West.
I mean, I agree with you. It wasn't moving the needle that much, but obviously everybody hated the Russell Westbrook thing, and the experiment didn't work out, and that was the complaint. So you had your opportunity to change it. You know what I'm saying? And if it was that bad, then change it. You know what I'm saying? But if not, then don't complain. Rock with what you got. Period. And if you don't make it, or if you flame out in the fucking play-in tournament, then it is what it is. You're right. You are right. I'm not denying that, bro. If we make it there, bro, straight up. So I mean, I don't think we could have got motherfucking Jesus Shuttlesworth in the buyout market, nigga. That shit ain't changing nothing either.
Here's my problem with the Knicks. Again, unlike the Lakers, who really didn't have much in the way of pieces that
to do, yeah.
The Knicks had people with legitimate interest. You know, a guy like Alec Burks, who's on not a bad contract that, teams called about. A guy like Noel, again, not a bad contract, who can start on roughly 30-35% of NBA teams. You know, I think he could probably start on 8 to 10 NBA teams right now, where he's just better than what they're throwing out there at center. Again, not on a bad contract at all. If you tell me you can't move 48 because the contract is bad, I get that. I can understand that. If you're telling me you can't move Julius Randle because, you'd be selling low, I get that. But you can't look at that team right now and be like, yo, y'all ready? And just stand pat. Even if you give up whatchamacallit, Kemba Walker for a late second rounder, just to get him off the team, do it. You got so many guards now. You just traded for Cam Reddish. And now Cam Reddish can't find minutes because you got Alec Burks, Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes. Now you got Kemba Walker still in the mix. You got Derrick Rose coming back. So Cam Reddish left a situation where he asked out because he wasn't getting minutes to come to a situation that's just as bad. Tick was playing
So
him 6-7 minutes in the ball.
that I personally think that's a bonus trade. Fuck y'all, decent. Because I mean, I know the whole league. They say they didn't see it coming with Halliburton getting traded to the Pacers and whatnot. But I think y'all had y'all eye on, like y'all had all y'all eggs in that one basket for De'Aaron Fox.
Yep.
And when Halliburton got
I
moved,
think it was both him and CJ. I think they would have really liked, and neither one panned out for them.
yeah. So I feel like y'all had all y'all eggs in that basket, and then one like y'all didn't have a plan B. Like if for whatever reason talks for De'Aaron Fox stalled out or whatever it may be, y'all didn't have another option, another target to go after, another point guard or whatever y'all were looking for to go after to unload, those pieces and get another player. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously once they traded Halliburton, I'm pretty sure they decided, like, listen, we're sticking with Fox.
Oh yeah, they're not trading Fox, but
you know what I'm saying?
Bring up a valid point because I saw the Sabonis Halliburton trade, and people are eviscerating the Kings online for trading Halliburton. So I want y'all thoughts on what you think. Who won that trade? If it was dumb on the Kings' part at all, like I want y'all thoughts on it before I get into it.
Run me the picks and everything with it.
Off the top of my head, I don't think there was a pick involved, or at least there was no first round pick. I think it was Sabonis, Justin Holiday, and maybe a second or something like that.
I thought it was 3 players came over.
Yeah, I'm forgetting who the third player. I think the third player wasn't really important. I think it was Sabonis, Justin Holiday, and I have to go back. But it was for Tristan Thompson, Halliburton,
and Buddy Hield.
And Buddy Hield. So I think that's what it was. I think it was 2 for 3. But yeah, so I think that no important picks got traded.
So I think people want to judge it on the Kings fucked up or whatever it is. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think in the long run, Fox and Halliburton wasn't going to work out in the long run. You know what I'm saying? One of those guys were going to have to go at some point in time, and it's not an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? To move on and got a hell of a player back in Sabonis. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think the Kings were stupid, and they were able to unload Buddy Hield's contract, who they've been trying to get rid of for God knows how long. You know what I'm saying? And Tristan Thompson. So I think it's a win-win. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna change their outcome this season for Sacramento. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I wouldn't blast them like how everybody else is doing.
Yeah, they kill him. What about you guys?
I don't know, bro. I think that the Kings won that because I really like Halliburton. I think he's a good player. I think they probably should have kept him, to be honest, for the long run. But to get Sabonis back, you get an all-star player who definitely solidifies them in the post. So I think they came out ahead on that, and they got rid of Buddy Hield. So it wasn't too bad for them.
And it's not like De'Aaron Fox is trash now. Like
No.
De'Aaron Fox is still like that guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of really like preference. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were like doing that trade for like a Jeremy Grant, then I'd be like, all right, Kings, you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But like Bar said, like Sabonis is going to solidify them in the post. You unloaded Buddy Hield's contract. You still have another scorer in Harrison Barnes that's there. So I think it's a step in the right direction for them.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Like I said, everyone's killing things online for trading, Halliburton. But I feel situations like these is how we can get into the mode of overrating a player. And again, Halliburton's a really good player, and I think he's going to be, an all-star. But to kill the Kings, who I've said on many occasions is one of the most, if not the most, poorly run organizations in basketball.
Facts.
To kill the Kings for saying we have 2 potential All-Stars at the same position. Let's move the one with the most value and get back a guy who's not 26 yet, is a top 5 player at his position, and has made 2 All-Star teams. And at the same time, we didn't have to give up a pick. We didn't have to give up Davion Mitchell. And we got rid of Buddy Hield's contract, which is a poor contract. I'm struggling to see how is it bad on their part. Like how they lost the trade the way everyone says they do. Because the way the NBA is going, Halliburton is a pass-first point guard. That's what he is. Can he score? Yes. Is he an elite scorer? No. Will he ever be an elite scorer? I doubt it. If he becomes a 20-point-a-game scorer, I think that's where he'll live. I think he'll live at 20 and 10. And then my question then becomes, when was the last time the best player on your team was a pass-first point guard and you won the finals? Like, can you really think about the last NBA Finals team to win with a pass-first point guard as your first player? Because I know where I would go with it, and I'd have to go back to the 80s. So if the game isn't in that direction, then why not put yourself in a position where you can give yourself 2 All-Stars and build around that core?
Yeah, facts.
It's not, to me, it's a no.
Has De'Aaron Fox been an All-Star, or you're just saying that he's got the chance to be an All-Star?
He
hasn't been an All-Star.
So to me,
he averaged 25 and 8
guards
and didn't make it.
Guards in the West, you know what I'm saying? Like the way the All-Star game is built and the voting and all the other stuff like that. As long as Steph Curry, Dame, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, those guys are still in the league, bro. Like niggas like De'Aaron Fox ain't gonna see an All-Star game. They could put up All-Star game numbers.
Yeah.
They could put up All-Star game type numbers, but they're never gonna see it because
as a reserve.
I mean, maybe, but that's all. That's still all. That's still all picks too, though.
Before he got hurt, I mean, Dejounte Murray been hooping. I mean, I think he deserved to be an All-Star personally. So
Dejounte Murray is an All-Star though, but that's only because Draymond Green is not playing.
He's not playing, yeah.
But that's fine, though. That's what I'm asking. Do you think that, based off of what he did, do you think that he deserved that reserve spot opposed to Dejounte Murray?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to Money's point is that De'Aaron Fox is an All-Star team caliber of player, but because of how the system is for the All-Star voting and reserves, he might not ever see an All-Star game until some of these guys retire in the West.
Yeah. Like I said, he averaged 25 and close to 8 assists last year a game and didn't make the All-Star team. It's hard to break through that, again, the Stephs, the Dames, the Devin Bookers, the Lukas, Klay not last year because obviously he was injured last year, but even this year, Klay made the All-Star team and played 20 games before the All-Star game, and he didn't put up All-Star numbers, but popularity. You look at it like I'm more concerned with his talent level and less with did he make the team? If the guy can give me 22 and 6 or 22 and 7, he's an All-Star caliber talent. Like I'm not gonna discredit him because there are names that are in front of him. If Halliburton would have went through the same issues.
So all in all, looking at, because now that means the Pacers didn't give up Miles Turner, which I thought he was on that cusp of getting possibly moved as well. And then, where does that leave the Pacers, though? Because they did just get rid of Karis LeVert and sent Karis LeVert to the Cavs. So, are the Pacers in sort of rebuild mode?
They're in,
huh?
They got to be in rebuild mode. Yeah, they are in everybody. So, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, to be honest.
I mean, I guess they feel like Halliburton's their guy to build around.
Yeah.
But I like Karis LeVert to the Cavs though, man. I mean, the Cavs are already a solid team, and that gives them somebody else on the wing to get him buckets. I don't think they incorporate him into the starting lineup right away to play next to
I think he
Garland.
started today.
Oh, did he? I know when he
Yes,
first got there, he came
over
off the bench.
Okoro? You're wild. Yeah, no, he's got to start in 2-3 games to get him in, but over Isaac
Yeah, they got to
Okoro,
get incorporated to
there's no way I think he's
the
starting.
team.
I mean, CJ's starting today. I don't think Karis LeVert has that much of the learning curve. They knows how to play basketball,
Yeah.
personally, but I don't know why.
Well,
you bring
CJ got to
him
start
off
today.
the
I mean,
bench.
they ain't got no fucking choice.
Them
I
young
mean-
guns. Them young
Yeah,
guns.
Karis LeVert is fucking leaps and bounds over Isaac Okoro in every category. There's no way that you have him or you have Teddy Osmond. What they have out there opposed to LeVert is
So
I don't know.
do you like the trade? So they end up sending over Rubio, I think a couple of picks for
You're
Karis
talking about
LeVert.
once his jit starts school, he fucking out of the NBA anyway. So get rid of him long term. I mean, he's not doing shit for you anyway. He's hurt. You trade a hurt player with some picks to get back fucking Karis LeVert. That's fucking.
That said, I thought the Pacers did a good
Cavs.
job in that package. I thought they got almost 2 first rounders for Karis LeVert, and LeVert's talent has never been an issue, but his staying on court is. So, for a guy who has that kind of injury past, I thought that the Pacers did a good job with what.
Does that push the needle for the Cavs being where they are? I think it might be fourth place now, fifth place.
Yeah, I think third or fourth.
When you're saying push the needle, what do you imply? Push the needle.
I mean, like, does it make them like it makes them better? Like we all think Karis LeVert makes them better, obviously, but does it push the needle? Does that because at the first
in the East, I don't think they go past any of the top teams in the East. I think that
they are a top team in the East, technically speaking, record wise.
But that doesn't put them past the other top teams that they would be facing in the playoffs.
Yeah,
the teams that we know are.
I mean, I think right now there are what record are they? Fourth?
Yeah, I think they're like 32-21 or something like that. 33-22 or something.
34-21.
34-21. So I don't think.
So they're fourth.
Past those boys like the Bucks. I don't think it puts them past Philly. I don't think it puts them past.
So my question is, so right now they would have to match up with Philly right now.
And they would get blown out the water.
That's a help. It's a help.
Yeah, they're not being.
I mean, it's a good squad. It's a good experience for them boys, but there's no way they're walking out of a 7-game series with Philly.
No. But that said, the point was not only to get better now, but to get better in the future. LeVert,
they got younger.
Age. Yeah, that core is young.
I mean, I think they got to jump on getting the Sexton the hell out of there.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't. I thought they were gonna move.
I think it's happening. That's probably happening in the offseason because there's no way he's coming back after what they've done after he went down. I think they'll be out of there. And with our luck, he goes to the Knicks and fucking brings down our franchise. So can't wait for that.
Pretty much. that's pretty much what I'm looking for.
So I mean, I like the moves. I like to see like the Cavs are kind of on an up and up. And it's not because like a LeBron James or anybody's there or whatever and stuff like that. So that's good to see that franchise, making moves to make their franchise better. You know what I'm saying? Unlike Portland. How do y'all feel about the moves Portland made to I feel like to piss Dame off personally, but
here's the thing.
On purpose.
So Dame has already come out and said, I understand the direction. They spoke to me about the direction first.
That's bullshit. And let's keep it real.
But see, here's the thing. They would have had to, because if that were the case, Dame could have easily looked at the trade and be like, yo, I want out. Legitimately, he could have been like, yo, I want out. But you didn't hear nothing from him outside of a heartfelt message to CJ. You didn't hear nothing from Dame. And I feel like Dame is loyal to a fault.
100%.
It's I think you're on mute, Jamal.
You're on mute, Jake.
Bars, you're on mute.
Sorry, baby crying. Muted myself real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, dog. Dame isn't that nigga that's gonna be like James Harden that's gonna demand a trade. At that point. So I mean, Dame's a more private person. He doesn't really put a lot of shit out there like that unless he's beefing with somebody on Twitter or talking shit with somebody in the league, or whatever. So I mean, I don't think we would hear anything, even if Dame is probably pissed off about the whole situation. With undoubtedly he is, but
I know Dame's pissed off. Ain't no way he ain't pissed
Yeah,
off. He's
that's
loyal
not-
to the fault, and I don't think he's gonna. He's the kind of person that's not gonna back off of what he said. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the grind. I don't want to, ring chase and blah 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 blah. I feel like Dame's like, yo, if I fucking, walk back what I said a few months back, I'm gonna look stupid. So, of course, he not gonna fucking. I don't think he's gonna come out and verbally say anything. You know what I'm saying? But ain't no way like he's happy about what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like even the return they got is not going to not going to bring in the help that they talking about possibly getting or they can imagine they getting or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even understand the whole direction of what he's talking about. He's seeing.
Yo, the worst part about it is when you look at free agency, because you look at the moves Portland makes, and it's like, okay, they're obviously clearing up cap space. Obviously, they're cleaning up cap space. That's what they're cleaning up cap space. They got 2 potential lottery picks. Excuse me, in this draft. So they're doing one of 2 things. They're either A, going to try to sign a top free agent and do a semi-Golden State thing where you kind of, work in young players with older players and keep that, that team ready to go for 8 to 10 years instead of, just giving yourself a 4 or 5 year window and then having to rebuild. Or B, you're saying, okay, with those 2 picks, I can then sign somebody in free agency and then go out and trade for somebody. And that's great if you didn't have 2 things that were going against you. First, no one wants to play for Portland.
Facts.
Don't nobody want to go to Portland in free agency. There's never been a free agent that said, yo, Portland is a destination. I'm trying to go there. All right? No one's trying to play in Portland. So that's first of all. Second of all, and I can't stress this enough. There's only 2 free agents available at the end of this year that's worth any kind of money. And that's Zach LaVine, who's probably going to resign with the Bulls because he's happy, and Bradley Beal, who is the Damian Lillard of the East. Where to a fault, I'm just gonna play with a bad team because I feel like I'm rocking with them. Everybody after that is a step down. So what are you spending that money on?
And I don't see Bradley Beal running to go to Portland either. Like even if it's to play with Dame, that's just. I mean, granted, I like him better than CJ and all that, but
it ain't that much of an upgrade.
Exactly, it's not pushing the needle to the point where you're competing for a championship. And I know Bradley Beal's not going to want to go sign somewhere for any kind of long term to just be in the same shit he was in with Washington.
It's mind-boggling. I don't know what they're doing. If I could give them a Z instead of an F for their trades, I would give them a Z. But since F is the
they did nothing, bro. They did nothing, dog.
Yeah,
they did nothing. And it's not like you got a haul for CJ either.
No.
Like you traded CJ and you got what Josh Hart and then what ended up turning into Joe Ingles.
Hart, Ingles, I think, and a pick or some shit like that.
And a pick, yeah. They traded Nikhil Alexander to Utah. That ended up turning to Joe Ingles.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think Josh Hart was even cared about in that trade. They did it for the pick, and the problem with CJ is CJ was still making $33 million a year, so it made him a little difficult to move. Not to say he didn't have value, because he did, but I'm not entirely sure if his value was much more than that. But then that begs the question: if his value is not that, why wait so long to trade him? Because you can't tell me he didn't have more value in the offseason than he did now coming off an injury. Like, that makes no sense. If you're going to do it, you might as well trade him in the offseason.
Yep.
Agreed.
So, I don't know what Portland's doing besides trying to piss Dame off to the 10th power. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to work. I don't need to live 3 years in the future to see how this comes out. I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't going to work. Whatever they're attempting, it's not going to work.
Dame going to ask out eventually. It's going to happen.
Yeah, when
It
he
has to
retires.
happen. When he retires, I hope not. 'Cause he'll be a fool.
Like,
Bro, it's I don't
Just, I
know.
mean, if you want to say you stay loyal, ride your contract out, and don't sign your PO, whatever it is that you have, your player option,
mhm.
and clear it on them boys. You know what I'm saying? And pick your destination.
I want to give a
Is
shout out to
Dame's
the
contract?
Pelicans, who I thought made a decent trade with
Mm-hmm.
CJ. I thought that was some people were killing him, like CJ makes a lot of money. Is that really the route you want to go? But they got to find a way to keep Fat Boy Zion wanting to beat in New Orleans and adding another scorer to the
You saying the fool's not enough?
I don't think the fool is
Hmm.
enough. No, adding another scorer next to Brandon Ingram does help, and a guy who can control the rock from the guard position, does help. So I think that I don't know if this makes them a playoff team, but I think they're better today than they were before.
I mean, shit, they in the play-in tournament right now, so
I mean,
they
they've
got
been
a
in the tournament
shot.
for the last 3 years, so
They got a shot. So
and then they just tanked in the second half. Another team that benefited from Portland's fire sale, the Clippers, I thought low key made a really good trade for Norman Powell
For Norman Powell.
and Robert Covington.
yeah, I agree.
I thought that was
Yeah.
obviously that's for next year.
I'd
That
say
trade wasn't for this year
Yeah,
because they don't have
definitely
Paul
trade
George,
winners in my book.
Kawhi coming back. But so that deal was obviously made for the future. But
Definitely get rid of sorry ass Eric Bledsoe.
which they did.
Facts.
I think Marcus Morris is still bringing that team down because he has that stink about him, that I ain't shit stink. And Reggie Jackson is just they need a point guard yesterday. Like they need a lead guard who can control the ball, and that's been the Achilles heel since they signed Kawhi and traded for Paul George, and it continues to be the Achilles heel. They just don't have a point guard, and watching Reggie Jackson struggle to run the position it's painful for me, and I'm not even a Clippers fan. So they definitely need to shore up that position somehow, get a playmaker in there. I think they're going to target probably Ricky Rubio in the offseason, see if he'll want to come down and play. And I think he provides what they need. A playmaker who can defend. Not a great shooter, but they don't necessarily need him to be a great shooter because shot attempts are coming from Kawhi and Paul George, and Norman Powell's going to get his up. Covington's a nice corner threat, so I think that I think Rubio would be a good target for them.
You think Rubio gets bought out?
There you go.
I think he's a free agent. It doesn't matter whether he gets bought out or not. He tore his ACL. He's out the season.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, he won't be back probably until like December or January next year.
Facts.
You think they holler at Roderick? He's not really a pass first facilitator type of guard, but
No, but he would be an
he's better than Jackson, Reggie Jackson,
Yeah, we'll get you.
for that portion.
Excuse me, who's a Clippers fan, really wants Dragic and seems to think that they're going to get Dragic. And I'm telling him that, Dragic is probably looking to win, which kind of takes them out of the running this year just because ain't nobody confusing with the Clippers for getting past or getting into, if they get into the playoffs, either through play-in or through one of the lower seeds, they're not going anywhere. They're 4-0. They're going to get swept up, or they may win a game if they're lucky. But no one's confusing them. And if I'm Dragic, why would I go to a team that I'm going to be back home, 4 games later than I could have been had I gone to a bad team or something like that. Plus, Toronto's in a better position than the Clippers are, and he didn't want to play in Toronto.
He didn't want to play for them, exactly.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So I think he's probably going to look at a team like Brooklyn, like Milwaukee, like Phoenix.
Like actual title contenders.
Yeah. I don't think he can go to Miami because Miami traded him. So
Right.
I think that kills him there. But
he couldn't go back.
Yeah, I'm just I don't see him going to the Clippers. I think that you can eliminate that. But he will probably be the best player available on the buyout market.
I mean,
unless that boy Dennis Schroeder gets bought out.
He got traded
where did he end up?
Houston,
yeah.
Houston.
Damn, that's
I
tough.
know he could get bought out.
He could get bought out.
My dog fumbled the bag.
Damn, bro.
and it ended up in Houston.
Because
What a time!
it wouldn't have been.
Hey,
No
y'all gonna?
I promise you.
I mean, low key, would y'all have kept Schroeder and paid him? Looking back at it, hindsight bias, would y'all have rather have paid Dennis Schroeder or done this Westbrook experiment again?
Well, that's a good question, actually, because I'm ready to kill somebody. So go ahead.
Would I have?
Lakers fans?
I mean, hindsight. Like, I mean,
in hindsight, like looking at it right now, would you have rather saw what Schroeder did with you guys before?
Yeah.
Would you guys have rather overpaid Dennis Schroeder, or would you have, looking at that, you would re-sign Russell Westbrook and just do that whole thing again?
I feel like you're asking me, do I rather get punched in the face or kicked in the nuts?
I mean, it could be it.
So which one?
Right?
Which one are you gonna do?
The only difference is which one is gonna hurt more.
I mean, I think, fuck, man. I don't want to pay your shoulder fucking 84. That nigga wanted 84 million, bro. What are you talking about here?
Nobody wants to pay that.
No, he wanted 100. He wanted 100, didn't he?
100,
Yeah,
right?
100.
But they offered him a stupid amount of money, right?
Yeah.
And they were like,
Nigga, I would have picked me up for a cold meal and call it a day.
That's not an option.
All right, but
That has to be an option.
I don't think you're on anyone's consideration, but
that has to be an option, bro. I can sit in the corner and hit a couple threes for y'all boys. Come on, man. Let me sign me up, coach. 10-day contract,
what
bro.
y'all doing, bro?
give him a 10-day. Give him a
I'll instantly be the best shooter on that team. Instantly.
I'm really interested to know who would you prefer having.
Fuck.
Max, right? This is a good question for Lakers fans.
Yeah. Because you say you rather Westbrook than Randall, so you've already been wrong once. Let's see if you can go 2 for 2.
Nah, hold on. Listen. Listen.
Yeah,
Let's not get off track. Listen.
No, fuck. I'm gonna address this nigga real quick. Hold on, bro. Let me address this nigga real quick, dog. Because my thing about Randall and Russell Westbrook is it don't do anything for me, bro. Like, Randall gonna be the same as, like, it's literally LeBron and Randall.
Half the money that Westbrook makes.
Half the money, and he's making fucking more. And Russell's making half the shots that Julius is making.
But I don't think we're going to get the same Julius we're seeing with playing with LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
Why not?
And that's,
he's going to hit his shots. He's going to get his shots regardless. The thing is not him. Russ is not taking shots. Russ is taking 15 to 20 shots. He's just fucking making 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, and you got to understand, on the Knicks right now, RJ's taking the most shots. Julius Randle is probably tied for second with Evan Fournier because Evan Fournier is taking a lot of shots when he plays the minutes.
I just don't think
Julius is going to get the same amount of rebounds. He'll probably give you close to the same amount of assists.
I mean,
more scoring.
I don't like either one of them on the team. I don't like
Stanley Johnson.
I don't like either one of them on the team. Period. But to answer your question, fuck me, man. Do I want to pay Dennis Schroeder $100 million to stay on my fucking team? That what you're asking me?
Would you pay Dennis Schroeder if you had to do it again? Would you pay Dennis Schroeder, or would you go through and do the Russell Westbrook trade?
Yeah. I feel like there's only one answer to this. And
I think I'm taking Dennis.
I'm taking Dennis.
I'm glad you weren't wrong twice.
I'm taking Dennis just because he's, at the end of the day, he's playable. You know what I'm saying? When you need him to be on the court, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's but I'm still getting punched in the face though, because
but at least you don't got full on diarrhea because they kicked you in the nuts.
I guess. I guess
it's got one less ball.
But it is. I mean, it is what it is. Like, again, Lakers couldn't make a move, and it is. It is what it is.
They're probably gonna look for the buyout market.
And shit, it ain't no telling it ain't no telling. You know what I'm saying? If we did sign Schroeder, he wouldn't have been in that fucking package to go to fucking Washington for Russell Westbrook, anyways.
Yeah.
If LeBron wanted it to happen, it was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, if y'all paid him 84 million or whatever, I don't think he was going anywhere at that point.
No, he wouldn't have left.
Personally,
if he would have signed that,
I don't think y'all would have
deal,
moved him.
then he wouldn't have went anywhere. We would have had Schroeder. I still think KCP and Kuzma would have been out of there. We would have had we would have
what's it called?
84 mil in the hole, but we would have had a point guard.
I mean, at that point, y'all would have just if y'all was going to plan on trading him anyway, the whole back and forth about his contract wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah,
that's wild.
So I would have had Dennis Schroeder out here.
Where the back and forth happened after he turned down the 84. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. That was
so we already had offered him the contract. All he had to do was say, "All right, I'm gonna sign it," but he wanted to be, "I'm gonna bet on myself."
Yeah, he wanted to be greedy.
He wanted. I mean, I guess his confidence. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be confident.
His agent told him,
right?
It's whoever was in his corner told him not to take it.
Ain't no way his fucking agent told him that because he's a fucking idiot.
Bro, that was an 18-leg parlay on DraftKings. He wilded out. That was a massive bet.
I said, no, don't take the deal.
That was a massive bet.
At the end of the day, agents get paid when you get your contract too, and nothing Dennis Schroeder have ever done is going to warrant him $100 million contract.
Bro, whoever was in his corner telling him what to do, like that shit is terrible.
But enough about the sorry ass.
They weren't in his corner.
They weren't in his corner.
They immediately, as soon as they told him don't do it, they left that shit. They're like, yo, we out.
Enough of these sorry ass
Lakers and Knicks.
We had some other trades. I want to come through. Some minor ones that came through.
Not the biggest trade of the night. We're gonna get to it, but I wanted to get to what I probably think is the second biggest trade of the day, which was Dallas Mavericks deciding that they wanted to shit the bed completely and go full retard. They're not supposed to go full retard, from what I understand. You just don't go full retard. But Dallas decided today they're going full retard and traded Kristaps Porzingis, who, don't get me wrong, as a Knicks fan, I'm not a fan of him at all. However, Kristaps Porzingis for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans. Someone please tell me, what the hell were they thinking when they said,
I don't get it either.
I don't get it.
And no one can ever say that we got fleeced as Knicks fans. We got rid of that Knicks.
Yeah, I never want to hear that trade again.
That's crazy.
Finesse.
You traded for Spencer Dinwiddie, who's not doing much this season.
Who's averaging 85 and 17 freaking percent from the field, but.
And then a nigga that's not even getting minutes on the Wizards.
Niggas not getting minutes at all. I don't believe that.
I mean, congratulations, Wizards. You know, I think it's finesse gods.
All right. Y'all are winning.
So the countdown begins. How long before Luka asks for a trade? Do you think within the next 2.5 years?
No, I think Mark Cuban would sell his wife before he lets Luka walk out the door.
Nah, I've seen.
Well, he's gonna be wifeless and Luka-less because that nigga.
Let me tell you something. Luka is competitive. You can see it in his face. Yeah. You can see the way he plays in the playoffs. He has the energy. He has the drive. Yeah,
he has a hunger to play ball.
Before he came to the league, and when he was in Europe, he was already 15, 16, starting on a pro team. He won a EuroLeague MVP. He won the EuroLeague championship. The nigga could play, bro. So now he comes to the NBA. He's hooping out here. He's still bringing a not good team and making them competitive. And now you get rid of a huge asset that they could have got a lot better return for Davis Bertans, who should be in the EuroLeague right now.
Yeah.
At fucking however old he is, 30 years old or some shit. You get Spencer Dinwiddie, who's just not the same Spencer Dinwiddie that was on the Nets before he got hurt.
Crazy.
So at this point, like, you're just trying to send him away, and that's cool. You know, we don't have anything. We can't pay Luka, so I mean, I'd like to see him somewhere where he could win though, because I'm a fan of Luka.
Can we just for a moment appreciate just how bad Dallas's front office has been since they drafted Luka? They went out.
That's all they did.
Trade was solid.
They do.
You know, I still think the Knicks won that trade, and I'll argue it. I don't care. I still think the Knicks won the Kristaps trade, although they probably could have got a better return for him had they shopped him instead of just taking the first offer. But I still feel like they won that trade. That said, after that trade, they gave freaking Tim Hardaway Jr. another $70 million. Wow. After he blew through the first $70 million on hookers and booze. So that was the first mistake they made. They just signed Dorian Finney-Smith to an extension today, 4 years, $52 million. I don't know.
Dorian Finney-Smith is basically Royce O'Neal, the nigga who scores 6 points a game decent defender and gets you a few rebounds. I don't understand how niggas like this are in the league and starting. Like he's a fringe bench player on any other team. I don't
they took Reggie Bullock from the Knicks for $330. It looks like they want Luka gone.
I don't know,
to me,
bro.
I think it looks like he can come to the Knicks if you want.
He said he come to the Knicks.
And they're gonna be right back out of there. I don't know what you want to bring Luka there for, just to piss him off. I mean, it'd be nice to have for 3-4 games.
Yeah, I don't care about Luka. I'm just me. just me. I get to watch him.
How do y'all feel about Trez to the Hornets?
Doesn't move the needle.
I think it's a good pickup.
I like it.
It's a good pickup.
They don't have bench scoring,
which is true. But they need a starter center. They needed a center.
I mean, Mason is not a scorer, which kind of works out for them because they have Terry Rozier, they have LaMelo, they have Miles Bridges, and then they have relax, bro. They have trash ass Gordon Hayward. So
I just seen him
they got a bunch of niggas that's already taking a bunch of shots.
Plumlee ain't shit. All right, he's not a starting center. I don't care. He's not.
I mean, he's averaging double-digit rebounds and like 6-7 points. He's doing what most of these niggas are doing right now. Honestly, if you look at the league, unless there's a top-tier center like fucking
Joker,
and the gap between the top-tier centers, the mid-tier, and then the low-tier, the gap between top and mid is huge, and then mid and low is kind of like it's not that far off.
I'm not saying you need a star. I think that a lot of times when I give y'all these looks, it's less for the kind of player he is, and don't get it twisted. I just don't think he's a starter player. But besides that, it's also fit. The team is very up and down, run and gun, so on and so forth. And that's not Mason Plumlee. So not only isn't he, to me,
he's athletic.
What do you mean? Mason's athletic. He's been
No.
He's running the court with them boys.
No, he's not. Again, I was watching him play last night. If he was running the court with them boys, he would easily be averaging 10 to 12 points just on lives, outrunning the other center.
He would be, but unfortunately, his office doesn't allow him to because he's a Plumlee. So there's certain names in the league like the Plumlees. One of those other boys that was in the league, that the brothers that were trash, but they was in the league together.
Lopez.
Not the Lopez, the other white boys.
Not the other white
Lopez's.
It was like Tyler and his brother.
Oh,
Hansborough.
Yeah, they were together. They made a whole one. Yeah.
So there's gonna be certain niggas in there that are just NBA players for whatever.
Jesus.
I
like the move. I like the move.
I don't think he moved. I think that again. I just.
Who would you send there instead? Who would you sure?
I wouldn't say that I wouldn't have traded for Harold. I just felt like they had better needs. Like I don't dislike the move for Harold. I just think that again they're stuck in the middle right now, in the East, and I don't see how Harold changes that for them.
So what you would have done as far as like if you're the GM of the Hornets, what would you try, or what would you have tried to put together, and who would you try to bring back?
I would have tried to go Julius Randle. Julius Randle just I felt like he was available.
You're trying to get rid of Julius,
right?
To be honest,
but Julius would have fit there. I agree.
I feel like if they made a call to either Atlanta or Miami, they could have got a deal done. If they would have made a call to Atlanta for Capella, I think Atlanta would have been happy to get Capella's money off their books because they have a in-house replacement that can give them the kind of results that Capella. I don't think he's as good. But
Capella's only taking 3 shots a game right now. Like I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, no. But I think Okongwu
pick a roll shit with lollipop hair Trey. I don't know what's happening. Because
the live threat is John Collins. That's why. That's who we look to.
And even that's not working. But I mean, Atlanta's a mess. However, I think if they would have called up Atlanta for Capella. I think Atlanta would have been okay with getting the money off the books, and I think that would have given them, the strongest rebounder in basketball, if not one of the top 2 strongest rebounds in basketball, a legit shot blocking threat, and again a lob threat. I think that changes their offense, the dynamics of their offense, or even the rookie from Miami. Whatever his name
no, they're not getting rid of fucking Homer or whatever boy's name is. He's a future. He's the wave, bro.
Here's the thing. Miami's not a dumb team. Miami does a lot of things on purpose. For instance, they showcase a lot of talent to trade them at later dates. Mm-hmm. You gotta understand, Bam Adebayo is what, 25, 26? He's not the future. Bam is still the future.
Bam Adebayo? Sorry.
I'm sorry. Bam is the future. Bam is a above average passer for his.
Bam's still that guy. Relax.
Bam is that guy.
Cool. Yeah, no, he's that guy. Yeah, he's that guy that costs me money. So fuck Bam.
And he's gonna continue to cost you money because Miami in general is gonna cost you money because you can't play them on parlay. They just don't. You can't.
Bro, I need 8 points. I need 8 points. Bro, I need him to score. I need him to put the ball in the basket 4 times in 36 minutes. There's nothing you can tell me. So I'm past that. I don't even want to talk about this nigga.
Either way, I think that Miami would have entertained the offer if enough was put on the table. I think the kid's good, but like I said, I just don't. I think Charlotte needed to make a move for a starting center, and Harrell's not that. Harrell's not a starting center.
Yeah, no, he's
I don't think he's gonna be a starter, but he's gonna be that where he's been, the 6th man off the bench.
Yeah, he's always
grab boards and get buckets.
And that's wonderful. But if you're looking at the makeup of the team, you don't go for a 6th man before you solidify your starting lineup.
Who would you? What center would you have liked to see there? Besides Capella.
I was about to say I gave you 2 options. Again, center is difficult because it's not a lot of high-end talent, and if you're not high-end talent in the NBA, you're middling.
You're Mason Plumlee.
Yes, you're Mason freaking Plumlee.
So,
although the Knicks obviously wouldn't have traded Mitchell Robinson, I don't think.
No. Noel? If we
I thought Noel as well, but I don't know if Noel's that much of an upgrade over Mason Plumlee. I think he's an upgrade, but it's not enough for me to make that deal, to give up assets for it. You follow what I'm saying? Like, it's not like...
I think defensively, for sure.
Definitely. But...
Because that nigga Mason Plumlee is a turnstile right now. He's letting any center get off.
And that's the point. Noel would help him defensively, but you can't pass Noel the ball. Noel cannot pass a basketball, cannot catch a basketball. It's insane how someone who's 7 feet cannot catch a basketball. I don't get it. But he can't catch a basketball.
Man's gotta be like...
I know, bro. That nigga 7 foot with little hands.
With little hands. He reminds me of Kwame Brown. Shout out to Kwame Brown before he starts getting on me too.
Lord.
All right, bro. Let's not get into Kwame Brown. I think gonna call out the podcast show up at your house, nigga.
Yeah, he's like
that man.
Talk about my mama's cooking.
Yo, his revenge sword, bro.
Yes. But that's probably who or if they could have pushed all in for Miles Turner.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
I still would like that. I can't say Miles Turner though because I'm so sick of the big men now. Like, there's a lot of big men that's trying to stretch the floor. That too. Yeah, I don't understand how this nigga's only averaging like whatever. I don't care. Let's
hold on. Or let's rewind a little bit. How about Kristaps Porzingis, who just got traded for a pack of gum and an hour later?
For nothing.
So, if you're willing to take his money on, and let's be clear, you was willing to give Gordon Hayward $100 million. So you obviously don't care about giving money out. You could have had Kristaps.
They taking that shit from Jordan's bank account, nigga. Because they paying niggas. I don't know where they paying these niggas.
Why do you think he's still making rent?
But I don't think that's a bad trade if you try to move with Miles Bridges hooping the way he's hooping. You throw Gordon Hayward towards Dallas and like, hey, I'm trying to get rid of Kristaps.
I don't think Dallas would have took Gordon Hayward.
I don't see why not.
It has been something else.
Well, no, it's better than fucking Dinwiddie and Bertans, nigga.
He's not making as much money.
Gordon Hayward, that nigga barely played. He's Mr. Glass 2.0. That nigga is hurt every day, bro.
Yeah, he is.
That man gets out a warm up. He ties his shoe, bro. That nigga got a finger spray. There's no way I'm taking that nigga off, bro. Fuck out of here.
No, but when he plays,
he's not doing shit.
Yeah.
He has a 30-point game, and then he turns around and scores 6 points. Are you
Now, I
telling me
would
this
have
nigga
traded
was
Gordon
any?
Hayward for him. I would have just tried.
Gordon Hayward left his talent in Utah. That's why Donovan Mitchell was a star.
Nah,
Donovan Mitchell's that dude, but he left his talent in Utah for sure. He left his talent in Utah because that nigga ain't been doing dick since. Ever since Kobe lit him up the last game, bro. Gordon Hayward ain't been the same.
Yeah, Kobe gave him 60, and Gordon Hayward, he's been done since then. I think they could have made the money match though. I don't think they needed to trade a Gordon Hayward. They could have made the money match.
I mean, they got young talent too there. That's not really playing. They got young boy that they drafted. Booknight or whatever.
Yeah.
Booknight.
Yeah.
They got him. They got another
Brittany
dude that got the G League.
Who I think they didn't trade Brittany Renner today, did they?
No, they did not. He's still on the squad.
Because I know they were looking to trade him. So Brittany Renner's still there. All right, so they had Brittany.
Man, free my dog PJ.
Niggas asking for extra draft compensation to trade for that nigga, bro. They don't want Brittany Renner around their facilities, bro.
They could have took his kid.
She gonna walk by pushing a stroller one day at practice, trying to rope her a new nigga, bro. They don't want them problems, bro.
Yeah, she trying.
I don't know why she at practice. She divorced a nigga. She shouldn't be nowhere near the fucking facility. She's not letting a nigga see his kid. I don't know what she's doing.
Well, we got a couple more trades to go. I'm gonna quickly go through Derek Wright's trade because I feel like it was a important trade in the NBA, even if it wasn't as flashy as some of the other ones. But I think Pop went ahead and fleeced Brad Stevens, knowing that he's a new GM. Derek White does fit Boston. It gives them a legitimate playmaker, which they've needed for a while, and a top flight defender at the position. So that's the good news. The bad news is he shoots 32% from three. So yeah, that doesn't work that well. So I like the move. I just think they gave up a hell of a lot for it. A hell of a lot.
Once the rest of the details came through, it was like, niggas wilding a little bit.
Yeah, they gave him basically 2 first rounders for him. Like wild shit.
And it was just Derek White. That's it. Derek White, and then Josh Richardson and the
Bio
picks.
Henny, I think. Like that, it was Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, first round pick. That's I think top 4 protected or something like that, and the ability to pick swap in like 2027 some shit for Derek White.
Damn. Well, I mean, I know.
Hey, you win some, you lose some, right? That's what they say.
That was a loss.
I mean, the Celtics been losing them this season. It hasn't been no win some for them.
Well, I was hoping the Knicks were going to swing a trade for Murray today, honestly, because it looked like the Spurs were in asset building.
DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, they looked like they were in asset.
If we got DeJounte Murray, bro, I would have cried. I would have been so happy, bro. I would have wore my Knicks. I would have wore every Knicks shirt I had.
I'd have ran through the streets like with no shirt on in 50-degree weather in New York right now. Like, I
was it's cold there right now, bro.
It's 50 actually. It's warm today. Like it's wild. It's like
warm.
I know
Florida,
50 is great, but 50 for us in the wintertime is like 95. So that's that. There's that. But yeah, I thought San Antonio won that trade. And they did well on the few trades that they made today, stockpiling assets. But I think it will help Boston. That move will help Boston. At least defensively, they're still going to be really good. They still have Marcus Smart. That perimeter defense is going to be insane. With Marcus Smart, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. That, and even this dude coming along. Well,
Robert.
Yeah, Robert Williams is really coming along. He's looking really good. I think again, defensively, if coached correctly, Boston can be a really good team. So yeah, they gave up too many assets, but at the same time, I think that this is going to help them. Which brings us to the trade of the day.
Dun, dun, dun.
The one that everybody's
Brooklyn
talking
and Philly
about.
finally decided that they were going to trade the people that everybody knew they were going to trade.
Right? Like, them niggas was beating around the bush like a motherfucker, bro.
Like, it's wild.
I don't know why it took so long. Like,
yeah, I don't either. But the official trade is Ben Simmons, 2 first-round draft picks, Seth Curry and Andre Drummond for James Harden and Paul Millsap. I don't think any picks were coming from Brooklyn in the deal, so I think that's just the full trade. Let's go around the horn. What do you guys think?
I think the Nets won that trade. Like, they got good pieces. I mean, I feel like picking up. I mean, Harden plays no defense, so that's why. I mean, I feel like they'll have better defense, and then KD and Kyrie gets more touches on the ball, so their offensive numbers should go up. Where it's not like you had to share the ball with three guards, pretty much. You know what I mean? With the exception of KD, got better defense. They could both run the floor. Ben Simmons, fuck Ben Simmons, but it's a good addition for that team. You know I don't like Ben Simmons.
Your half brother.
Fuck out of here, yeah. But yeah, I think the Nets won that trade. Harden does make Philly better, but I mean, you would have to chime in and if it pushes the needle, because I don't see it. If y'all really think if y'all really think James Harden does push the needle for that team, then it was crazy. Like the title odds went from 1100 to 550, and like
I mean, if you look at it though,
yeah, but I don't see it.
But Embiid's been carrying that team.
Fact. With crazy heavy.
I mean,
heavy.
So you added James Harden, it definitely pushes them in the right direction. They get rid of a shooter, but they still have a few shooters on the squad. It takes the ball out of Tyrese Maxey's hands a little bit, so I don't know how. I mean, it should work out.
You think it was easy? You think it was a push, or you think?
No, I don't think it was a push at all. I think it makes them better, but it definitely wasn't push. Not in any sense. I think that the Nets definitely won that shit by a decent margin. Yeah, but facts. I will say that it's not like the 76ers, don't get better off of that. So I don't know, bro. All I know is Doc Rivers is a grimy ass nigga, bro. That nigga don't care about nothing, bro. That nigga don't care about family at all. Dominic Toretto outside his house right now. Nigga traded his son. He traded his son-in-law. He signed the nigga that cheated on his daughter and got a stripper pregnant. That boy does not care, bro. That nigga would sell his mom for a pack of juicy fruit. I mean, at the end of the day, Doc Rivers is a wild boy. And he could cancel practice to say goodbye to his grandkids for the last time because he never gets.
Yeah, that shit's wild to me. He was like, "Yeah, I gotta say bye to my kids."
So,
but yeah, bro. I think that the Nets definitely if Kyrie decides to really step up and be there full time, it's a wrap.
So I agree with you guys on this portion of the Nets winning hands down because they get a center in Andre Drummond, which they've been needing for God knows how long. You know what I'm saying? And that's a legit 12 to 15 rebounds, sometimes get you 20 rebounds a game. He's probably going to do some dumb shit maybe 2 or 3 times a game as well. But he's definitely what they needed, what they lacked. Ever since Joe Harris went down and went missing in the playoffs, they filled a need with fucking Seth Curry there for a shooter. And then you bring in Ben Simmons, who I think is what they needed as a playmaker to gel everything together versus Kyrie, KD, and James Harden kind of playing this. Is it my turn yet? Or is it your turn? Is it your goal?
Yeah.
You do your thing.
The fact that they said Seth Curry with Ben Simmons kind of makes it better for Ben Simmons' shooting deficiencies because they brought over
exactly 100%. I agree. So I do like that aspect, and then Ben is a great defender. He's a playmaker. You know what I'm saying? So I think that helps them, and then they get 2 picks on top of that. So I definitely think Brooklyn won the trade, and I definitely think Philly got better because at the end of the day, you lose Seth Curry, you lose your center off the bench and Andre Drummond, who, would fill in when Embiid gets hurt or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? He did a decent job when Embiid would get hurt and whatnot, especially for fantasy purposes. But you're getting a player like James Harden who wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? To step in and fill whatever gap Ben Simmons left or whatever. So they're definitely going to be 100% better.
You saw what James Harden did with Capella back in Houston. So now you get a nigga that's much better than Capella, pretty much on pretty much every level, and you have some decent pieces around.
And Embiid could play with his ass in the post the whole time. So having to be out the 3-point line because the guy that was controlling the offense couldn't shoot a damn 3-pointer or didn't want to shoot a damn 3-pointer to save his life. You know what I'm saying? But
he can, but will he? I don't know, because you see that everybody. The thing is, once the niggas start talking about shit, like they've been talking about his 3-point percentage, how it's up there and shit, how it's up there next to Steph Curry. The nigga's not gonna stop shooting now, bro. It's just not his. He's gonna stay out there. I mean, he shouldn't, but
we'll see.
Go ahead, buddy. I know you got a lot to say.
He could. So what I want to say is, I mean, I don't know if Money want to go first and say his take, but I
got a lot of shit to say, so I'm gonna let him rock in a minute. Go ahead, Aggie.
I'm letting you rock. Go ahead.
So my thing is, and I don't know how y'all feel about this. I think this shit was a setup from day one, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I say this, like, I felt like Daryl Morey, and I don't know if it'll ever come out or whatever it is, but I felt like this shit's been in the plans for God knows how long. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like for what you gave up for James Harden, you can't tell me you couldn't have found a trade partner for Ben Simmons that I'm pretty sure wouldn't have required as much as you gave up.
These niggas were asking for like 4 first-round picks, and now they're giving away picks. Come on, bro.
Yeah. So I felt like this whole time, ever since this shit happened or came out, or maybe that whole thing was put into place with let's try to tear Ben down. Let's fucking play hardball with Ben so that when the time is right, we can get James Harden here. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, they were asking for all these picks. They wanted a young player plus picks and another superstar to go along with it plus picks. And now you end up getting back James Harden and Paul Millsap, and you're giving up 2 picks. I just, something about this just seems like this has been in the works, or somebody's been playing, chess behind the scenes or whatever it is for this fucking moment. You know what I'm saying? That's just what the whole situation feels like to me. So I don't.
Well, bro, let me see your money.
This man like grinding his teeth. He's like,
the funny thing is,
he's waiting to speak.
I got because I know Luka kills the Clippers. They're playing Dallas, playing the Clippers tonight. So I took a while. It was plus 1,000 on FanDuel for 40 points and a win for Luka. With 2:58 left in the second quarter, Luka got 30. Luka is the modest.
That's wild.
Oh,
hey,
Lord.
that boy the Clipper killer, man.
Bro, he got 7 threes in the first half.
7 threes, Luka?
He's 7 for 10 from 3. Yo, he's
Jesus
7 for 10
Christ.
from 3 and 1 for 4 from the free throw line. Yo, Luka, a wild Pelican, son. Oh my God, bro. But back to Ben Simmons and James Harden. I agree. Brooklyn won the trade. I don't think James Harden's value is that high. And I feel like Daryl Morey was desperate. This was his desperation move. You can't tell me a guy in James Harden who's averaging almost 5 turnovers a game and whose shooting numbers are down across the board.
Damn near leads the league in turnovers. Is
worth a 2 or 3 time All-Star in Ben Simmons. I think 3, maybe 2, but maybe 3. Either 2 or 3. That hasn't turned, I don't think, 25 yet, or is 25, and is again an elite defender, elite playmaker. Yes, he has his shooting woes, but if you were telling me right now, if I'm looking at both of them, who should have more value, I'm going with the guy who's locked into his contract for the next 3 years or so. That's 25 years old. It's not like we're expecting Ben Simmons to be something. We know what Ben Simmons is. What Ben Simmons is right now is still at this point a perennial all-star. That's what he is right now. He is a perennial
Facts.
all-star at this point in his career. And his upside is he could be one of the 10 or 15 best players in basketball if he decided that he wanted to dedicate himself to the game of basketball. If he doesn't, he's still a top 25 player in basketball. That's a perennial all-star. Again, you can't get away from that. So to trade him 2 picks, one of the top 15 or 20 best shooters in basketball, and your backup center,
I'd say lower than that.
who can but just to make it fair, I'd probably put him in my top 10 easy. But just to make it fair, top 15, top 20 3-point shooter in basketball, that is also an above average defender. And a center who can start on half of NBA teams.
More than half.
And
More.
Paul
I
Millsap.
say about 75%. For Paul Millsap,
Paul Millsap, who didn't play this year basically because he's not that good anymore. And James Harden, whose numbers down.
I thought they were at least trying to get Claxton, but
bro,
You
get
couldn't
something.
get a pick in return though. Like at least get another first
Bro,
round.
ask for Steve Nash. Ask for something. They literally got nothing.
They didn't have
Yeah.
money.
So Brooklyn won the trade by far.
So with that being said, like, am I the only one thing like this was like a setup? Like not a setup, but like this was like some grand scheme of thing like they were waiting for.
I don't think so.
I just
I
don't.
mean, it's easier to say that after they lost in the playoffs that maybe stuff went into motion at that point. But prior to that, I don't think so. Prior to them losing in the playoff last season, I think that they were.
No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was back that far. I don't think it was back that far. I'm talking about like this how this whole Ben Simmons shit's been playing out. You know what I'm saying? Like you're playing hardball with the man. You're finding him, keeping his money, and then it's like you can't tell me like what, like, to your point, Money, and to everybody's point here is what they traded for Ben Simmons. I felt like they were just locked in on that shit for. I felt like this was like locked in their head for I don't know how long.
I don't think so.
Because as the trade deadline got closer, it's like James Harden been trying to be like more and more like cryptic with what he's saying and fucking and after in the press conferences and shit like that, and his displeasure and all this shit starting to come out more and more and more, and then it's just like that's just. I mean, everybody knew it. Like, who didn't see that coming?
I mean, that's around the time that it has to, though, because if he's talking about his displeasure after the trade deadline, he's just going to be fucking in the locker room, being alienated and shit. You gotta kind of let that shit out beforehand and hopefully get traded before the trade deadline. So, I mean, timing wise, I think it was.
I think it was. It seems a little planned to me.
No, I don't think so. I think
on both ends.
No, I think that what happened was.
I think the Nets wanted to move him. I think the Nets wanted to keep him.
Yeah, I honestly, if
it didn't make sense.
No, it does. You have to understand, everything has the biggest thing you have right now is timing. What I mean by that is this: in the offseason, Philly knew they wanted to move on from Ben Simmons. They knew they couldn't keep Ben Simmons. After Doc Rivers made his comments, after he did what he did in the playoffs, Doc Rivers made his comments. They knew they weren't going to keep Ben Simmons. So they understood that they were going to try and trade Ben Simmons. And the only reason why they didn't trade him back then is because Doc Rivers, not only did his poor performance against Atlanta hurt his trade value, but Doc Rivers, basically his damn near, killing of his point guard killed his value even worse. When your coach goes out and says that we basically cannot win with you, then, your value goes in the toilet. So, Philly wanted to move on from him. And I think Philly, and they made no secret about this. They were holding out for a superstar to trade for Ben Simmons. And that could have came in any form. That could have came in James Harden. That could have came in Dame Lillard. That could have came in any superstar that they felt was disgruntled and available. It just so happened that, the only reason why James Harden even became available was because of COVID. Let's be honest about this. COVID is the reason why James Harden is playing for the Philadelphia 76ers. Because Kyrie being Kyrie and deciding that I'm going to go against the grain. Everybody's getting vaccinated. I don't care if it costs me my career. I'm not going to get vaccinated. That in itself set off a chain reaction that then allowed Kyrie to be looked at as a pariah in that locker room. Whether James Harden is the only one who spoke out about it, or at least in the media spoke out in the back about it or not, doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, when you have a big three and one of those big three isn't playing, and it's not because of injury and it's not because of personal issues that maybe a death in the family or something, mental health. He wasn't playing because of a vaccination. Now, I'm not going to say that was a right or wrong decision. However, there is some sacrifice that a team who's looking to win a title has to do. And him not getting the vaccination can be looked at as very selfish and very to the point of he's not willing to put in the effort to go and win a title, because it's not like the vaccination was going to kill him. Whatever the vaccine was going to do, whether you believe it works or not, the vaccine wasn't going to kill him. Even if he believes it didn't work, it didn't hurt him to go get the vaccination and say, you know what, I'm going to get it out of the way because this team has a chance to be special and we have a chance to win a title. And that's what James Harden went to the Brooklyn Nets for. He went to the Brooklyn Nets to win a title because he wasn't getting it done in Houston. So him going to the Brooklyn Nets and saying, yo, I'm here to win a title, and then seeing how hot they were after he got traded last year, and knowing that the only reason why they didn't win a title really was because, he got hurt and Kyrie got hurt, which was no fault of their own. But his expectation was, yo, we can take that synergy and that platform that we built upon last year and go on and do something special. Then the Kyrie thing happened. Kyrie's not playing. So now it's like, well, now it's me and KD. KD gets hurt. It's me by myself. I'm no better off than I was in fucking Houston. And I have a healthy guy in Kyrie. And now it makes it, I think even letting Kyrie play after all that made it worse, because now it's like, yo, you're catering to one person. Mm-hmm. You first said Kyrie couldn't play. Then we go through injuries. And now you're saying, oh, Kyrie can play on road games whenever. He's still getting paid his full money to only play sometimes when he's allowed to play. So I'm putting in this work. I'm working out. I'm playing with the team every day. I'm practicing every day. I'm doing all this, and at this point, I'm let's kill my phone. I'm carrying the team, and I've got to deal with a guy who's half in and half out. That's not. When you're in a sport, we all play sports. Between y'all two playing basketball, Jamal playing football, and I'm playing baseball. We all play organized sports, so we understand what it is in that locker room. We understand, you want to feel like everybody in that locker room has each other's back. And it's hard to feel like that when one dude is getting preferential treatment. And that's really where Kyrie was. He was getting preferential treatment. And it's like, it ain't like a LeBron situation where LeBron, when he's getting preferential treatment, he's clear and above the best player in basketball. That's not Kyrie. Kyrie's not the best player on that team. So to give him that kind of treatment, it's like, you know what? I don't need this bullshit. I can go elsewhere and win. And because he felt like that, it then allowed the door to open up for Philly to say, oh, I have my disgruntled superstar that I can now move Ben Simmons for. So I think that there was grumblings maybe during the season that Philly felt that James Harden might be available, and they were probably holding out for that. But I don't think like it was we know we're getting James Harden. We're just gonna wait for this shit to happen.
I think so. To your credit, I'm not disagreeing with you saying at all. But my point is, and what I'm saying is, cause like it's not like this shit just happened 2-3 weeks ago. Like this shit was all happening at the same time in the beginning of the season. Yeah. Ben Simmons singled out, whatever, on a trade block or not on the trade block or whatever, whatever have you and whatnot. And the whole thing with Kyrie, not getting vaccinated and going from not available to being, part-time available or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that was the chessboard. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when I thought, everything was being, whatever. Cause like, you can't sit there and tell me like, if that was the haul you were going to give up for a superstar that you wanted to be available, you know what I'm saying? There's rumblings that Donovan Mitchell is not getting along with Rudy Gobert and he might want out. You don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't throw a nice package together to see if you can get Donovan Mitchell if you're going to give up 2 first rounds, Drummond, Seth Curry, and Ben Simmons. You see what Portland just did, and quote unquote going to whatever for Dame, hey, maybe you throw that same shit at their way. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that we're not in the locker room. We're not in the front office. We're not in those conversations. So I'm not saying that wasn't a conversation to have, because they could have called up Utah and said, hey, Donovan Mitchell, and the dude hung up the phone. Because Utah can't afford to trade Donovan Mitchell, because they know if they trade him,
that's their bread and butter. I get it. I'm just throwing out examples. I'm not
and
saying
Dame, we don't know if Dame's gonna play this year. Dame just got abdominal surgery, and he was looking bad to the beginning of the year. So who's to say that they didn't look at it and say, yo, we could try and get Dame, or we can go with the guy who's healthy, who we've seen production from this year. Because let's be clear, Dame's production was, before he
but
went down,
I'm talking about earlier on. That's what I'm saying. Because
but a lot of teams don't make trades that early, especially big trades like this. Like trades like this happen either in the offseason or at the trade deadline, unless we have a guy who's refusing to play, which is Ben Simmons' case. But look at what we'll take Minnesota as an example. This is so unique because Philly was still a winning team without Ben Simmons. So for them, they couldn't afford to give Ben Simmons away for somebody who they felt was not going to move the needle for them. They got, again, a superstar in their prime in Joel Embiid. They have to pair him with the light talent, because if you don't,
I agree with you.
Wasting him. So we go back to the Minnesota thing with Jimmy Butler. When Jimmy Butler was playing, with the scrubs of the scrubs and a couple janitors that he got off the street and was beating Jimmy Butler and them in practice, and then going and smash and talk to Rachel Nichols later on that day. They had to move on from him, and they weren't afraid to get young talent in return, because Minnesota wasn't a winning team at that point. They had made one playoff appearance with Jimmy Butler, but they understood if they lost Jimmy Butler, then they were going right back to the South. They were going right back to being a loser team. So they can afford to take lesser talent or first round picks or whatever the case is. Philly wasn't in that situation. They needed somebody who could pair with Ben Simmons. With Joel Embiid.
I don't know. To me, it just seemed like they were just, with their relationship between Harden and Daryl Morey, just seemed like it was just everything lined up, just how they.
It happens that way. Sometimes it happens that way. It's clear that this trade wouldn't have been able to be made in the offseason because, like I said, Brooklyn was calling collusion. Brooklyn was basically going to give them to anybody else but Philly. So, they made the trade now because
it just made sense.
Yeah, it made sense to make. And we knew this, last week when we did the podcast, when we was like, they should make the trade. I don't think they're going to – they've held fast and saying they're not trading Harden, but they should make this trade. So, it's – they were smart, and like I said, Brooklyn. Well, like we all said, Brooklyn won the trade. So that also helps.
So where does that put? Did your title favorites shift after this deadline? Did anybody? Are the Warriors' son still the favorite? There were no significant moves in the West that I think that made any threat to the Suns or the Warriors.
No.
Yeah, bro. I don't think it changes the West much. Obviously, it makes some teams better in the East, but I still like the Bucks. I think that the Bucks are still the favorite in the East, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm reversed now. You're right. Doesn't change anything in the West. And I still like the Suns. I do like the Suns, and I think I need to see Golden State with Draymond again to see how they play. With Draymond, Clay, and Cast, but I think they're going to be good, especially when Wiseman comes back. They can eliminate him and get him playing winning basketball. I think Golden State's good, but I see the potential with Brooklyn, the lineups they can run, and what they can do as a team. And I feel like Ben Simmons is a much better fit than James Harden was, even from jump, for Brooklyn. As a defender, as a playmaker, gives them versatility on the defensive end that they haven't had since they put this team together. You can guard, you can have them guard, guards, wings, bigs, doesn't matter. I think that their death poison pill lineup that Golden State had when they were running Draymond at the 5 and KD at the 4, I think they can be even better than that lineup. With Ben Simmons at the 5, KD at the 4, Kyrie, Seth, and they can play who they want, at 3 at this point. And I don't whether it's better or not is debatable, but it can be damn good in terms of what they can do. And I think they have the flexibility, and people are going to want to go there, for buyouts. They're going to be a number one destination in the buyout market. So this isn't even their complete team. They're going to get one or two players, actual players, to come out and play, and they're going to be deeper than what we see now. And again, I like Milwaukee, but my biggest problem with Milwaukee is I think their coach will hold them back. And I think Budenholzer is the worst coach I've seen win a title in years. And I think if he can lose the Bucks a series, he will lose the Bucks a series. And I think the Bucks' talent is up there with anybody, but I just don't trust their coach to win them an important series. Not that I trust Steve Nash either, but you have more pedigree with your top end talent when you come to KD, you come to Kyrie in titles, than you do kind of these boys, Giannis, Drew, and them won a title last year, but I think their title is discounted more last year than I would discount the Lakers title in the bubble. A lot of injuries occurred last year, and I don't believe Milwaukee was the best team in basketball. They just lucked into a title. Milwaukee Phoenix, if the stars aligned and everybody was healthy, Milwaukee Phoenix would not have been your NBA title matchup, your NBA Finals matchup. In either conference. I don't think either conference. I think if the Clippers had Kawhi healthy, the Clippers probably make the finals because they own Phoenix throughout the season. And I think even when Kawhi went down, the Clippers still played really good basketball, and they just got outgunned later on in the playoffs because, again, they just weren't as talented as other teams. But with Kawhi still there, the Clippers probably make the finals there. And if Brooklyn was healthy, they would have ran the doors off of Milwaukee. Milwaukee barely beat a team with James Harden going down
by a
and
toe.
KD playing with nobody.
By a toe.
So it's they barely beat them. So there's no way in hell Milwaukee beats a healthy Brooklyn Nets team. Milwaukee was fortunate in their title last year, and it's hard for me to say, okay, that team has pedigree when I saw them play in the playoffs last year. But the other side of that is I also saw how they lost to Miami in the bubble and how they came out and played Miami the next year in the playoffs. They learned, they adapted. So we can look at that again in the playoffs this year, where now that they have that experience, have that title under the belt, they look a lot better against these teams. So I like them, but I think Brooklyn, I would say probably Brooklyn is the most adaptable, and I think that they're probably my favorite. And I still don't want to discount Chicago. When Chicago's healthy, they're a really freaking good team. They have a lot of people who know their roles. They're really balanced, and a lot more balanced than Phoenix was last year. And I thought Phoenix was the most balanced team in the playoffs last year. I think the Bulls are more balanced this year. They have the playmaker and a top-notch defender, Alonzo. They have two premium scorers in Levine and DeRozan. They have the inside scoring threat and rebounder in Vucevic, who also can go step out there and shoot the three. And if Patrick Williams comes back before the playoffs, who they haven't been able to play with, that gives them another tough-nosed defender that they could put on a high-end wing in the Eastern Conference. So, it really depends on the health of Chicago, but I think Chicago's also a really good team.
I'm agreeing with everybody on the West side. You know what I'm saying? Nothing happened in the West that threatens Phoenix and the Warriors. I think the East is. I mean, to piggyback off of what Money said in short terms, like the East is kind of wide open. Like there's really question marks about everybody. You can make a question mark about everybody. You know what I'm saying? The East is pretty competitive this year. Like I think right now you got like Boston, Brooklyn, sitting in the play-in tournament right now, and I think you got like teams like Chicago, Miami up top, Milwaukee up top, Cleveland up top, and you talking about the bottom four teams could be Philly, Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? And Charlotte. I don't think any of those top four teams want to see Brooklyn or Philly in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Especially if the Brooklyn, like if Ben Simmons, you know, which they're talking like he's enthused about, you know, finally getting the fuck out of Philly, and he has to get back to work, obviously, get back in basketball shape and make this push for the playoffs. But if, let's say, you know, whatever mandate comes down and Kyrie can play full time or whatever, Ben Simmons comes back to you know, basketball form and KD's back healthy, paired with Drummond and Seth Curry, I just don't see how they aren't the favorite. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess you got to give Milwaukee their, you know, their flowers because they won last year. But to your point, nigga, they KD is like 250 soaking wet, and that nigga had a book bag that weighed 1,000 pounds in that playoff series. You know what I'm saying? So if everybody come back healthy on that team, I think I want to say I like Brooklyn, not discount anybody else, but you know, it's a lot of ifs for every team, in my opinion. So I think the East is wide open. I think if everybody's healthy and got the full roster, I think I would like Brooklyn. And Lord knows everybody and their mother would want to see a series, Brooklyn and Philly. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, NBA gods, you know, if y'all gonna cheat, refs, if y'all gonna cheat, buck somebody. Like
when they cheat the Knicks and not give them the first pick. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a different story. But you know, if they gonna cheat and make that happen for your boy, you know what I'm saying, I'd appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. But I don't know if I had to pick my finals right now, I would probably fuck. Actually, I'm not doing. No, carry on. I'm not even.
Brooklyn, Golden State. I think
that's what I wanted to say, but it's just like.
Imagine KD versus Golden State in the finals.
Yeah, that'd be nice too.
Yeah, that'd be real good.
That'd be nice too. I'm not going front, but it's a gauntlet though. To come out the East, bro, it's gonna be a gauntlet, bro. Like the lesser talented teams, like you know what I'm saying, they fucking play hard. Like the Bulls play hard. Fucking, you know, Miami's gonna play hard. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't gonna be no easy road to the finals unless, like how you said last year, a lot of people just get injured at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? Oh. Other than that, I think it's going to be a fucking gauntlet to come out that East.
Every series is going to be, if everybody stays healthy, I feel like every series can easily go to 6 or 7.
Yeah. Luka has 38, by the way, with 8:37 left in the third quarter. Boy, Luka killing him.
So, I mean, I think it was probably one of the more interesting trade deadlines that we had in a long time, honestly speaking. And I'm looking forward to the second half of the season, bro. Like it should be a good one.
Heat won. Yes. My bad.
I'm looking forward to the All-Star game because they was doing the picks, and this nigga KD they didn't draft James Harden. So
last. Yeah, I need Rudy Gobert for, you know, the size, and, you know, they got a lot of freaking LeBron is crying in the background.
I don't think KD get enough credit, but that nigga low key hilarious, bro.
KD a funny dude, bro.
He's hilarious.
He a funny dude.
He is hilarious.
He's stupid as hell. I can't wait. I can't wait for that shit now.
It's going to be an interesting second half of the season, man. I'm excited to see how all these new pieces on these new teams get incorporated to the offenses, and as
you know, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Catching up on the trade deadline and just a bunch of wild shit. So let's see how the rest of the season plays out. Mm-hmm. But that's us signing off. Appreciate y'all listening, checking us out.
Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow us on the socials, all in the links.
Exactly. You got people that only listen to podcasts on watching it on YouTube. We got, Ed said, we got on Spotify. We got a couple different avenues to listen to. Definitely check us out. We got a lot more coming for you guys. So we out of here.